This is what you should do opening night of MLB The Show 23. We are less than a week away of the early launch of MLB The Show 23 on March 24th. On the 20th, we have the regular launch for everybody else. So I want to go ahead and make a video about what I'm going to be doing opening night and what you guys should be doing to help you guys along the way in Diamond Dynasty for MLB The Show 23. A key component of this video is going to be going over the marketplace. That'll take up a bulk of this entire video. I want to go over a couple of small things, you know, night one of MLB The Show 23. But we're going to be talking about a lot of market stuff, how to make a ton of stubs, especially opening night. There is a flurry in the market, and we do not want to miss the opportunity to make a lot of subs and get those collections done early, because those are always the best cards in the game. We want to make sure we get that done as quick as possible. So let's go ahead and dive into Diamond Dynasty. This will be an MLB The Show 22 because obviously 23 isn't out yet and we can't do much with it, but this will look kind of similar to what it will be like in 23. So we're going to skip over kind of like the team management stuff because I don't think it's really a super important thing opening night of MLB The Show 23. But I do want to talk about programs because there are a lot of different programs coming to MLB The Show 23 that really should help you guys out, especially night one, but along the way as well. So programs are going to be a giant thing in MLB The Show. If you guys have not played it before, they're kind of like the battle pass of Fortnite, where you're trying to pretty much gain as much XP as you can as quick as possible, get to the end of each program. This one is the forever program, and it goes all the way, I think, to like 2 million XP. I'm not gonna go all the way there, but as you see along the way, you get a ton of players, you get stubs, you get packs. It is a very important thing for MLB The Show. Now, there are 3 super important programs coming right off the rip in MLB The Show 23. We have Team Affinity, which is finally coming back from years past. We didn't have it last year, so super excited to have that back this year. We have the WBC content, which will have 800+ different players from it. And then we have the storylines for the Negro Leagues, which a newly acquired mode right here for us. Just super excited to have all those cards in the game. I think as of right now, we have 8 to 9 players that will be in this year's game, but it'll be a process along the way for a couple more years. So they'll be very, very good for Diamond Dynasty. So the first program we want to tackle off the rip is probably going to be Team Affinity because it'll have the most packs, the most rewards from it. In years past, Team Affinity has been done by division and also by team. In 21, it was done by division. On 20, it was done by team. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that this year. We're going to go ahead and base it off of how it was in 21. So there are 6 different divisions within the MLB: the AL East, the AL Central, AL West, NL East, NL Central, and NL West. Each of these divisions have 5 different teams in them, and you're just trying to complete assignments throughout all those different teams. So we take a look at years past. You'll have missions, you'll have moments, you'll have Team Affinity Conquest, collections. There's also March October, so we won't really talk about much in here, and also exchanges. All super important things to get enough stars or points to get through all these Team Affinities. In years past, Showdown was actually the quickest way to get this done. It'll be interesting to see what it'll be like this year, but make sure you guys are doing everything you can to get those done as soon as possible. The next program we'll want to tackle right off the rip will be this WBC program. Like I said, there'll be 100+ players from this program. We don't know exactly how it's going to work, but one thing we probably do know is there's going to be some type of missions. There'll be some type of moments that we'll have to complete throughout the entire thing. So it's going to be a really, really important thing to get done. There'll be some really good cards from that. Remember, there'll be 99s right off the rip for MLB The Show 23. So we can see some really good cards from that. Not sure exactly the rewards will be, but it'll be very important to get through that as well. And then lastly, we'll have the storylines with the Negro Leagues. Now, again, we're not sure how this will exactly work in Diamond Dynasty. There'll be moments for you to complete, it looks like, and then once you get those moments done, hopefully you get the player there. We're not sure what the overalls will be from those players, but they should be some really, really beefy rewards. I assume off the rip, we probably won't have a ton of them. I think we'll have maybe 1 or 2. We'll work towards storylines to get those done, and then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But again, it'll be a cool thing to learn about the history of the MLB, and some really cool things just added to that. So make sure you guys are getting that done too. So obviously programs are going to be very important, which they will kind of tie into these different single player modes as well. Mini seasons, you just have a team, you pretty much play against the computer and you try to win a World Series. Conquest, it's kind of like Risk, you try to take over an entire map, try to get it done, get a bunch of rewards from that. Showdown, you draft a team, you get some perks to help your team, and then you try to complete moments, get to the final boss, and you finally beat that. Those will all be a part of the programs as well, so make sure you guys are doing those too. Now, the most important part of this video will be talking about the marketplace, because right away in MLB The Show, you can make a ton of stubs in the marketplace. You just have to be smart with what you're doing. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's get you guys some stubs right away, so that way you can go ahead and buy whatever card you want to in MLB The Show. One thing before we actually get into the marketplace and go over all these cards that we're flipping, it's really important to look at the quick sell value of each card because that'll dictate how many stubs we're actually making off one of these cards. Now, they changed this in MLB The Show 22, which I assume it's going to be the exact same in 23. They haven't mentioned anything about that. But just going over the quick sell values of each different card, a 75 overall will go for a 50 quick sell value, 76, 75, 77 will be 100, 78 will be 125, and a 79 will be 150. Now, the bulk of what we're going to look at is actually the gold cards because if you look, the margins are a little bit bigger here. As an 80, it's 400, an 81 is 600, an 82 is 900, an 83 is 1200, and then an 84 is 1500. Now, as you can see, the diamonds go up quite a bit further there, but it's a lot harder to sell diamonds right away than it is to do golds. That's why we're going to be focusing on gold cards for this opening night. Now, we're going to go ahead and filter out, like I said, we're going to try to get all of our gold cards right here. So the maximum will be 84. The minimum will be 80. Get that right there. These should be the exact same as they are in MLB The Show 22. So if you look at someone like Mick Abel right here, he's selling for almost 19,000 stubs, but his quick sell value at an 84 will be 1,500. That is a very, very large margin right there, which should be pretty similar to how it will be on opening night. So what we'll end up doing is we'll go ahead and put in a buy order for 1,500. Then if you look at how big of a margin that would be right there. Now, remember, there is an important thing. There is a 10% sales tax you'll lose within that transaction right there too. So instead of maybe getting 17,500 stubs, it'll be a little bit less than that, maybe around the 16,000 mark. But this is what you're going to be doing opening night is be putting in a ton of buy orders into these different cards. Now, again, if we do another flashback like Ryan Nelson right here, again, 1,500 right here. Boom. That's another transaction of about 16,000 stubs right there. So gold cards to me are really, really important. The live series cards will be a lot more than what they show right here. So George Kirby is only worth, almost 1,700 stubs, which is barely above the quick sell value at 1,500. But again, in the beginning of the game, they're going to be very sought after. So those margins will be a lot bigger. Now, you can keep doing that with all the player cards, but there are also some really important different margins within equipment. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and filter again. We'll go back to the gold. And then again, there's just so many different margins here you guys can be flipping from. Now, obviously, it doesn't look as great right here because it's the end of the game. A lot of people don't really care about these cards. But something like this, a ritual throwback for 2,500 stubs, you can make a buy order for 100 right there. And then boom, if you sell that, you get about 2,000 stubs from that. So if you can kind of think about you constantly continually doing this, you're gonna be making a huge margin over the course of a night, over the course of the first couple of days, because the market is going to be insane. Look at this, 5,000 right there, another 5,000. One thing I've noticed is that equipment, especially right away, have a huge margin, sometimes even bigger than the player cards. So do not forget about going to the equipment because it'll be a big plus for you. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and talk about perks. Now, the diamonds could actually be a really good flip right here. If you look at break 2, it's 10,000. So we put a buy order in for 2,000. I think at diamond for perks, it's 1,000 for the quick sell value. Again, there's another 10,000 right there. These will be large margins again that night. This is probably the only one I'll look at for diamond value. You can do gold for these ones as well, but the diamonds on these ones, you can flip really, really quick. It's like flipping pancakes. You can make a lot of subs off these. So all in all, I'll be spending a lot of time in the market. I think you guys should as well. It's not hard to do. It might be a little time consuming, but I think in the long run, it'll definitely help you guys out. I will also be live on Twitch opening night. That will be on March 23rd. I'll be live around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. My Twitch is twitch.tv/RayCheesy21. The same name is on here. Also, this is a new channel just dedicated to tips and tricks for you guys. So I know you guys have probably maybe subscribed to my other channel, but if you have not subscribed to this one, make sure you guys do that right here, please. We're going to be building this up for you guys, trying to get the best tips and tricks for you guys out. But I hope that this helped you out. I hope you guys enjoy the launch night of 23. I'm going to be very excited for it. And make as many stubs as you guys can because I want you guys to finish those collections as soon as possible. But without further ado, have a lot of fun. That'll be still 23, and I cannot wait to see what you guys can do.